Welcome inside the RMU Island Sports Center. I'm Matt Gajtka with Brian Mitchell as the PIHL Class AA playoffs officially start tonight. A night ahead of schedule as we have a play-in game for one of the final two spots yet up for grabs in the AA bracket. We have Montour, we have West Allegheny both playing on home ice. The crowd is revved up and ready to go, and so are we. And Mitch, both of these teams mirror images of each other. Obviously, they finished with the same amount of points in the regular season, 26 apiece on 13 wins apiece. But they each had the same record here at home, 6-3. They each had great goal differentials, third best in the league for West Allegheny, fourth best in the league for Montour. They both have high-scoring defensemen. Bandai for West Allegheny, Garagash for Montour, and both teams finished the regular season on hot streaks. West A won 5 of its last 6, and Montour, in fact, going back to October, they're on a 12-2 surge to put themselves on the verge of making the bracket. So when it comes down to it, you look at the paper side of things, it couldn't be closer than what we have tonight.
You were mentioning the crowd coming in. Matt Gajtka, it is almost full at the Island. The end zone needs to be filled in a little bit, but the main bowl in front of us, I just looked down. It is full. This is a rivalry game. This is what it's all about, if you think about it. West Allegheny, Montour, these two teams, it's basically the Spider-Man meme the entire season. You were mentioning it. They just stared at each other, said, yeah, they were staring at each other the entire time this season. And I mean, you look at it, goaltending has been pretty strong for Montour down the stretch and Josh Ferry on the opposite side. This is everything that you want in a qualifier game. This is everything you want in an extra hockey game on the season. They're both playing at their home rink. They're both ready to play tonight. I talked to both coaches prior to the game. No roster changes except for Montour. They called up one JV player for this contest, and they're dressing, as they did in the Penguin Cup final, all 3 goaltenders on the roster. So they're making sure that they have the advantage that they can get in this, and if something happens to their goaltenders. So this is going to be a great contest.
Both of these teams finished behind Baldwin. The Highlanders ran away with the 4-team Southwest Division. 4 divisions of 4 teams apiece was how AA was set up this year, and so both of these teams tied for that second spot. The winner will go on to play Mars, the winner of the Northwest Division, tomorrow night. So it's not going to be a situation where you can regroup that much, but at least these two teams will certainly have their playoff games locked in, whichever one of them does advance tonight. And by the way, we are playing under playoff rules, so no 3-on-3 overtime, no shootout. It'll be 2 10-minute sudden death periods right after the third period if it is tied.
And playoff rules, 4 officials here today, and you just saw them do a pose-off in front of the penalty boxes. So this game, everybody's amped for this one.
Yes, the referee law firm of Music and Morgan will be wearing the orange armbands tonight. Gajtka and Mitch are the lines people. Tail of the tape, you look at it, Montour, I mentioned a 13-5 record. Their only loss over their past several games came to Baldwin right here about 2 weeks ago, Mitch, in a game that you called with Matt Popchak on Berg Hockey Live. It was a 4-2 game. It was a tight one. It was up for grabs going into the third, in fact. So Montour's been as hot as anybody, and they got it done when they needed to. Last week at Pine Richland, it was tied 3-3 going into the third out at center ice, and Montour scored the final 4. And you saw, well, some of the usual suspects come through. Tommy Gollum had 2 goals late to help him, to help the Spartans, pull away. And Michael Felsing, who had 50 points to lead AA, had 2 goals and 2 assists in that one. So they came through huge. Felsing and Dusty Garagash on defense went 1-3 in AA scoring this year, with Hempfield's Matt Trzynski tied with Felsing for first. So Montour's offense slightly more potent than West Allegheny's. The Spartans scored 95 goals, but West A had 86. And on the blue line, Nick Bandai, 35 points to lead this team. You've got Jake Giergo with 28, also Nick Sweet with 20. But both teams really could say that their offenses are powered from the blue line with Garagash and Bandai.
Oh, absolutely, and that's just a dynamic idea for both these teams. You talk about how I just said you see mirror image on either of these teams. Both of them captains are offensive defensemen, log a lot of minutes, lead by example. Both with Reinhold, Reinhold coming out and playing a phenomenal second half of the season for Montour, he's also, the goaltending starts to level off in that aspect, and offensively, you can't ask for two more gifted teams at this point.
Look at the student sections down to our right and
we
left. As
this
we
is
get
insane.
Ready. It's jammed in at
this
both
is
ends of the rink
insane.
here at Colonials Arena at the RMU Island Sports Center, getting set for the drop of the puck. We'll have the national anthem before we get going. Play-in game, AA, coming up in moments on.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home.
We are so excited to bring you this Class AA play-in game. I'm Matt Gajtka with Brian Mitchell. Thanks to Dave Fryer and the PIHL in the final 3 months of the season as we got this Berg Hockey Live thing going. And quite a way to cap it, tonight. This is something with West Allegheny in the red jerseys and Montour in the white. I mentioned the student sections are at full attention. West A down to our left and Montour to our right. Montour's the home team, and we have our starting goaltenders. Anthony Reinhold will start for Montour, and head coach Clayton Shell, the sophomore, making his 15th start, 16th appearance. He has a record of 11-3, an .894 save percentage, and a .346 goals against with one shutout. Down to our left, Josh Ferry, the junior for West A, the #1 guy all year, 17 starts now. This has been a great season for him. He's in the top 5 in the league with a .919 save percentage and a 2.3 goals against with 3 shutouts. Puck is dropped. We're underway. Winner goes into the bracket and takes on Mars tomorrow evening. Bandai back to retrieve it here for West Allegheny. Shuffles it up the wall, and here come the Indians. Here go the handoff. Nolan's got a chance right to start. Nolan had some room on the left side. He put it wide. Bandai will keep it the point. That is Nick Bandai, the towering, powerful offensive defenseman. Felsing takes this. We're actually blocked out a bit in the corners with both student sections standing up.
It's not you guys. It's not you guys at home. It's us too. This is amazing.
Girigo pulling it to his forehand, now on the backhand in the corner. 30 seconds in here. Centering pass. Score! A top shelf one-timer by Jake Scholes. The sophomore has his 4th of the year, and he puts West A ahead 1-0 just 38 seconds in.
Wow. They just started buzzing like beeves around the hive and just ended up nice little chip in by Scholes from point blank range to make it 1-0 here. 16:22 remaining in the first period.
Girigo on the primary assist. Scholes polishes it off, and you said it was like a chip shot. It had some arc on it as it floated into the top corner, and so Montour's got to play from behind now. Gollum back to try to retrieve in the offensive zone, but he won't be able to. Garagash flags it down at center. Dusty Garagash with 49 points on the year. Long range shot coming into the breadbasket of Josh Ferry. It's handled there. That drive was taken by Anthony Migliozzi, one of the alternate captains for Montour. Boykin gets the secondary assist for West A, by the way. On the opening goal for Jake Scholes, West A has the lead. Well, West A got a stay of execution. Hold on that thought as now Gollum will backhand it in deep. Cavanaugh here for Montour and the Spartans. with the Spartan logo on the side of their helmets now. That's new for the postseason. Shot off the arm of by Freeman, off one of the West A defenders there. That was Howcroft, who now gathers this puck, number 99 in red. Ran into his own teammate there, but he does get it through to the safety of neutral ice. Tossed ahead by David Stroka, but not for long. Montour's got to try again. Gollum looked to backhand it forward, but it went right into the possession of Medved. Medved gets it back. Braden Medved, the sophomore D-man, can't clear it. Cavanaugh pinched up to keep it alive. On the far wing, it's Felsing. 50 points in the regular year, tied for the top spot in Class AA. Stroka shovels it to Felsing. He's in behind the goal. Pulls away from Schultenbrand, the freshman defender. But Scholes, the goal scorer, picks it off. Tries to send Howcroft away on a breakaway, but it's intercepted by Felsing. Felsing from the right circle, shooting! He scores! It got through Ferry and trickled in, and it's 1-1 with 15:04 to go in the first.
I'll tell you what, Legend, this has been an instant classic already. These two teams, neither one of them are leaving anything to chance, taking every opportunity they can. And in the neutral zone, that turnover cost them at that point, and Felsing just able to fire that one, just trickled through Ferry, and you think the nerves just need to settle down for both the squads here, especially in net.
Felsing's 21st, it got through the pads, dinked off the post, and there's a huge check. Dusty Garagash sends an Indian flying in the corner. Couldn't quite catch the number because we're shielded out by the student section.
Boykin Jr.
It was Boykin
91.
Jr. trying to recover now. Icing here, and a tough break because the dump from Garagash was in a perfect spot for Migliozzi, but he couldn't get there before it touched the blue, or the goal line, I should say.
This crowd is electric at the Island. Amazing.
And I said it was the 21st for Felsing. Well, he had 20 in the regular season. This is officially a playoff game, so 21st overall. Bandai high shot, save made, rebound to the side for Reinhold to try to get back to his post, and he does. From behind the net, turning to put a shot on goal there was Nolan. Misfired high to the right. Puck settles in the corner. Now it's tipped out to Migliozzi. Has a man breaking up ice. That's Garagash, but couldn't get it through the stick of one of the forward checkers. Back in the possession of the Spartans, Felsing. Goes cross rink. Mason Lutz will gun it on near wing. Garagash practically playing forward right now. He's a rover, really. He and Bandai both. D in name only.
He's a
Ripped
rover,
away.
Coach.
Migliozzi has it. Migliozzi swirls out high, but gave it away. Tip pass ahead. This is Jake Girgo. Girgo downshifts, wristing, and it's blocked by Migliozzi. Made up for his own mistake there. On the far side of the ice, Shane Nolan trying to chop it ahead for West A. He won't be able to. Montour clears to center. 1-1. Dueling goals early on. One for West A off the stick of Scholes, and one for Michael Felsing of Montour, in that order. No icing here. Preston Muha centers off a stick, hops up into the air, and it's gloved by Ferry, and no further play.
Just tried to dump back into the slot to try to get it out of the zone. Bounced up in the air. Ferry had to hold on to it real quick where that was going to come down.
As I was saying before the Felsing goal, West A won 5 in a row to get in a great spot to make the playoffs, but then lost here to Franklin Regional 5-1, and honestly, it wasn't even that close. A game that we had here on Berg Hockey Live, and they had to wait 2 weeks for this opportunity to play again. Sweet, ducking it behind, centering, and it hops into the slot, but no one home for the Indians. West A's played just 6 times since the holiday break, not counting this one. So they haven't had that much of an opportunity to build a rhythm, even though they did win those 5 in a row going into the regular season finale. And Montour was 1-3 at one point, but they've won 12 of their past 14. On the take, here's Alex Morton. Plays it deep all the way back into the Montour zone. Jeremy Freeman, the sophomore, on the back pedal. To Cavanaugh. Montour's trying to win back-to-back Penguins Cups. They won it last year in Class A. It bumped up, and they're right back in position. Well, nearly a giveaway in the middle. And a saving play from Freeman to take that errant pass and break it up. And then Felsing with a dish that's well too far ahead of everybody, and it's an icing call against the Spartans.
Yeah, Montour trying to do that feat. That hasn't happened since 15 and 16 when Cathedral Prep pulled it off from AA to AAA. We've got 2 teams with the possibility of doing that this season. The Montour Spartans, if they can make it to play Mars, and Pine Richland, who starts their postseason at Cannon McMillan on Tuesday.
BergHockey.com will have every playoff game in the first round covered for you in some form or fashion. Front of the net score! Girgo takes it and puts it in from the doorstep, and what a centering play from Shane Nolan. Nolan got it, and one touch, it was right in front. Jake Girgo couldn't have missed that if he tried. It was a beautiful pass, and the alternate captain for West A has made it 2-1 Indians with 12:26 left in the first.
I think you and I have used this line before, but however, I think you underestimated the sneakiness, sir. Oh.
Extremely sneaky from Nolan. Hooked it back against traffic. And if you like offense, you're off to a running start in this game. And I'll answer my own question. I do like offense. Felsing shooting in. No offense to the goaltenders and
I'm
the
a
D-men out
defensive
there.
guy and a goaltender. So.
All right, so it evens out, the two of us on the broadcast team. TJ Boykin will try to deflect it ahead, and he will, to Girgo, the goal scorer. Jake Girgo's 14th of the year overall. And Nolan, an assist with a star next to it, for sure. Big rip in from center by Bandai, but it was offside anyway. Clay Bovalina, the sophomore, was in ahead of the play. He laid a check, I believe it was on Felsing on this near wing, and he could not get out of the zone for Bandai's shoot in his defense, Bovalina's defense, that is. I don't think he could have expected Bandai to try to score from 70 feet, but he did. Or at least he wanted to make it difficult on goaltender Anthony Reinhold, and Reinhold had some trouble trying to get rid of it, but it didn't matter because it was offside. Spartans take the draw. Spartans coming off a 7-goal effort at Penn Trafford when they needed to win. This is an icing against them.
Tried to get them to this game. They had to beat Penn Trafford. That was, of course, because West Allegheny defeated Baldwin earlier this season. And you needed to make sure, you know, that you get that extra 2 points to at least get this qualifier game.
We just talked about in our PIHL preview show for the postseason, which you can find on the YouTube page and on the website, berghockey.com, how in Class AA there are 2 juggernaut teams. You have Baldwin and you have Greater Latrobe, but a couple of us, including myself, picked whoever wins this game to give a good run once the Penguins Cup bracket gets set at 8 teams. Another icing against the Spartans of Montour.
Yeah, I like Latrobe, but my theory was if, you know, there's going to be a dark horse, it's going to be one that got hot late. And I had Mars as a possibility down the stretch. You know, they didn't get to play too many games early in the season, and they played a lot of their schedule in the second half.
If you're joining us late, you've missed a lot. It's 2-1 West Allegheny. Nolan trying to set up Girgo again, this time with a behind-the-back backhand pass against the grain, but that was blocked at the point of attack. Out with it comes Sal DeFilippe from Montour. Long-distance shot, wide of the blocker hand of Ferry. Karam's off the corner. Boykin couldn't clear, run into by Gollum, but now taking it on his Bandai. Bandai trying to run the gauntlet down the left side. Took the shot. Big rebound. Girgo stopped by Reinhold. And the rebound cleared down the length of the rink. And now Montour is on its heels after a good push following the opening goal by West A. It's advantage West A at the moment. Have to like what you're seeing if you're head coach Mike Kennedy from the duo of Nolan and Girgo. Nolan playing playmaker, Girgo going to the open spaces in front of the net, and Girgo will take this face off.
Yeah, if you're joining us late, the crowd in this place is electric. You're going to enjoy this game.
Reminds me of what we're going to see in a couple of weeks. We usually see these great atmospheres for the PIHL semifinals here at the Island. Migliozzi offside, Montour with Muha just a step ahead of the play. Migliozzi mishandled as he came in over the line. This is the second appearance for both teams on Berg Hockey Live this year. I mentioned West A. We had them and their loss to Franklin Regional 2 weeks ago, 5-1 here. And Montour gave Greater Latrobe a pretty good fight back in December, but they lost that one to Latrobe 6-4. Try to come back.
Yeah, they felt like they came out pretty strong in that game. They just made too many mistakes against Latrobe that ended up costing them in that one. So they feel like they can skate with them when push comes to shove. And it will probably have to come to shove.
Freshman D-man David Stroka played it ahead for Montour. Migliozzi in the corner. Bandai plucked it off his blade. Bandai's pass looking for Nolan, didn't connect. Stroka at the line. Gunned it right through Preston Muha at the side wall. And Bandai is going to try to spin his way out of trouble. He's working 1 against 2, and as he usually does, he finds a way. But he missed on that pass to Boykin. He'll get his own pass. One-man show, but now he lost it. Felsing, near side, Migliozzi gains the line. Felsing in tow, dropped it to him. Michael Felsing has the only Montour goal in this game. He's rubbed out by Nolan at the sideboards, but the Spartans keep possession. Under 10 minutes to go in the first period, 2-1 West A. Winner goes to the playoffs, even though this is technically a playoff game. Giergo looking to move to the backhand, couldn't do it. He was denied by Kasperson, but now Kasperson, well, he gets some help there on the near side from Muha, and the Spartans get it up and out. Wilpula handing off here to Caden Martin, the freshman. Plenty of underclassmen getting playing time. Turnover, sharp angle shot, and a save made by Ferry. On the turning chance by Presley Robb in front. Here are the Indians. Howcroft bumps into Garagash. Both go tumbling. No penalty coming from that. 2 referees on the ice, as we mentioned earlier. Out to the line. Wilpula couldn't get the shot through. Pardon, here is Wilpula now, I should say. That was Braden Medved of West Allegheny. Cleared around to the near side by Nick Sweet, one of the top playmakers for the Indians. And here's Scholes. Scholes with Sweet. It's a 2-on-1. Sweet going to the net. Scholes couldn't get the pass through. Now he got the shot off, and it's gloved by Reinhold. He holds on.
Good glove by Reinhold. Good sign that these goaltenders are starting to calm down after a very, very stressful start to the game. 2 goals for West Allegheny early, and Montour getting the 1. But, you know, you had to worry about how the nerves were going to settle, and at least you got them done early. And with a big crowd, it's going to be a fun one here.
Wristed by Shane Nolan, weakened on the way, ends up in the corner. Nolan, for all his playmaking prowess early in this game, he led this West Allegheny team with 15 goals in the regular season, 2 ahead of Bandai. He's an all-around type of player. Right-handed shooting senior, Shane Nolan. Gollum. Tommy Gollum couldn't pull this with him. Speaking of seniors who have a good shot from the right side, Gollum is one of them. He's a big, tall power forward. Number 55 for Montour. He looks on this time, though, as Aiden Cavanaugh will redirect it ahead and from behind the red line. So there's an icing against the Spartans once again. That's at least 5 icings against the home team, de facto home team. Both teams are home for this one.
Yeah, that's the nice thing is they both get to play a neutral site game at home. So that leads to the familiarity and being able to know how the rink runs, especially the bounces off the boards, things like that you have to be aware of.
The shots are 5-3 in favor of West Allegheny. The score is 2-1 in favor of West Allegheny. Morton will get out to the line, but no further. However, it's flushed out by Bandai. Back to take here, Alex Morton on defense. Finds some room, but couldn't get it past.
For some reason, it just kicked out. So we're back.
A backhand chance there for Muha. Pardon the technical interruption there. He didn't miss any goals. Just a couple of half chances. As I was saying, Mitch, we have Quaker Valley and Meadville playing in the other play-in game in AA tonight.
Yes, absolutely, and we're going to have live updates from that as soon as possible. Ah, man.
Pulled free by Nick Sweet, and the aerial clear will get the job done for West Allegheny. 6:55 and ticking to go in an exciting first period with the winner moving on and the loser heading home for the springtime. Felsing bumping into a check from Bandai, but he keeps the puck and he keeps it moving. Migliozzi centering, Garagash denied by Ferry from 10 feet out. Nolan, the high toss.
That was good.
Right
that
through
was
the
good.
rafters. It did not touch the steel up on the ceiling.
That's a rarity, but really a good a lob if you can get it. Because everybody stops thinking it's going to hit the ceiling.
And now it's Giergo. Can it turn into a goal maybe? At least a chance. Nolan shot it, but blocked into the slot. Muha couldn't backhand it out. Morgan high flip. And Giergo unable to stick it down. This will be driven around the wall by Kasperson and out. Braden Medved looks up, finds Morgan. Morgan wanted to hand it off softly, too soft. Garagash steps up. Dusty Garagash, 49 points in the regular year. Wanted to center it for the 50-point man, Felsing, but that was intercepted and cleared by Nolan. Well, as this game goes along, you're going to see more of that from Garagash. Also plays for the S-Mark Stars.
Oh, Freeman with the takeaway.
Giveaway by West A, and Gollum snaps a shot off from the right circle that's gloved down and held by Ferry. Josh Ferry, a .919 save percentage over the course of the regular season, 13-3 record in goal. Riley Lotta, the freshman, got 3 appearances, 2 of those starts, but Ferry started all 6 for West Allegheny after the holiday break. He had 29 saves in a win over Montour way back on October the 14th. Might as well be a different season at this point. But West State did get the victory there. These teams actually split the regular season series, as you might expect.
Very early. You think these two teams know each other? Watch how they play each other, especially when it comes to the pinches.
The last time they met was November 18th, so before Thanksgiving. Montour won that one. And of course, it was here at the RMU Island Sports Center, Colonials Arena side of the rink. Freeman will tap it ahead. Wilpula on the overlap, sends it further, taking a hip check from Bandai, but he kept the puck moving. Presley Robb couldn't make anything happen. Clay Bovalina stole it. Bovalina has a man breaking up ice. That's Howcroft. Howcroft is definitely running some fly patterns in this first period. He's looking to stretch the Montour neutral zone forecheck out. On the far wing, Stroka, boy, a strong freshman player. Love the way he skates, but he couldn't get by a tie up there in front of the West State bench, which included one of the linesmen. A little crowded, more crowded than usual. We're used to 2 officials, not 4. Snapshot from Gollum out by the blue line, chested down by Ferry, and he stops the music with 4:28 left in the first.
That got stuck in his mask. It bounced up under his shin pad of his mask, and he held on to it. Scary moment there with fun. One of the things you were noting, yeah, the extra linesman came into effect here at the point, but earlier on a line change, one of the Montour players went a little bit early, and the puck came back into the zone, which they had to wait for it up to the blue line before they could touch it for the player to get off. Could have had too many players.
Migliozzi, a big blast as he gloved down that attempted clearance, but he missed to the left. Muha trying to yank it between his legs. He had Migliozzi wide open in front, but it was taken away and cleared by Bandai. No icing here. It settles short of the goal line. Garagash plucks it out of his skates. Under duress, 2 Indians on him, but he does make the strong play to the far wing, and out come the Spartans with it now. Muha. Stick check by Bandai. Now Scholes back to Bandai, the captain of the tribe. 3-on-2 rush. If they hustle, Bandai stops, cuts to the left. Shovel pass to the front by Sweet, and it's taken away at the last possible moment. Howcroft was on the back post, but it didn't get through to him. And another icing, one of several for Montour in this first period.
Garagash got a nice stick in there with Howcroft just beaming down on the open side of the net. It was actually perfectly placed for Howcroft just to tap it in. Good stick there by Garagash to get it out.
Nick Bandai for West Day had 7 points in 2 games versus Montour this season. 3 goals, 4 assists. He was tied for 7th in AA scoring, 5th in assists, 2nd among D-men, only to Dusty Garagash on the other side of the ice. And I'm curious to see how often they get out against each other. Felsing shooting, and he got a good bit of that, but he fired it wide, looking for his 2nd goal this first period. It's 2-1 West Day. Nolan charging wide against Garagash. Garagash got a stick in there to deflect the backhand shot attempt. And here are the Spartans. Migliozzi reaches to lasso this one in. Migliozzi, sharp angle try on the forehand, and again pinned to his chest. Josh Ferry makes the save.
Neither team having a hard time taking chances, deciding to take chances here. You see in the breakout passes, the stretch passes from both squads trying to get a little bit of offensive productivity started here. 2-1 game into the coming up towards the end of the first. Seems like both teams have figured each other out. Now they're just trying to try something different.
I think you called it correctly there, Mitch. Nerves on, I think, not just the goalies' parts, but that certainly led to the frantic start to this one. Big rip from the point. That was blocked down. Vinny Molka unable to get that through some legs. But it's Wilpula here, pulling to the outside, and his shot was blocked by Boykin. Behind the net, Bandai. Feels like he's played 2/3 of the period. Bandai checked, but forced it along. Medved's trying to get there first. Caden Martin got in the way. The forecheck is on for Montour. Robb gloves down this aerial pass, but now Girgo takes it from Boykin. Girgo stops on the near or far side of the ice. Now tries to play it near side. Medved will relay it along. Nolan takes it here from Boykin. Right back to Boykin behind the goal. Turning on his backhand. Defended there by Martin. Cycle on for West A. Nolan couldn't get the centering pass through. Shot from the wall. by Boykin was stopped by Reinhold easily. And here's Presley Robb. Robb looking up. West A changing behind the play. This will be no icing here as it's wiped out by linesman Mirich on the near wing. Nolan, nifty little redirect ahead. Garagash chopped at it, and he did knock it out of the air. Garagash leading the rush back right down the center of the ice. Garagash going blocker hand. Oh, it bounced, and it went in. It went off the end boards, off Ferry, and into the goal. It's 2-2.
What a bounce. That just went off of the backboards. Bounced off the back of Ferry. Ferry was falling backwards. I'm watching the replay now. It's coming up. He shot it, bounced off the backboards around, bounced off of Ferry, and in the net, just barely trickled across the line, and we have a 2-2 game.
And Garagash let the West A student section know about it after he scored the goal that certainly didn't go as intended, but it all counts the same. His first of the playoffs after 25 goals from the blue line in the regular season.
Wow.
Felsing on the charge here. Now Montour has got to burn its saddle. 1:42 to go in the first period. All 4 goals so far, 2 for each side, scored during 5-on-5 play. No penalties yet called in this first playoff game in the AA bracket this season for 2020.
Yeah, they played really clean so far between the two squads. Not too many even, no calls either.
Right, I wouldn't even say there was a close call.
Yeah, they played each other very well. It goes back to knowing each other and respecting each other at this point. A lot of the players are excited to play each other, especially for what I believe is the 4th time this season between, might have been the 5th time. I don't know if they played in the Greensburg-Salem tournament, but a lot of the players play on the same teams whenever it comes to their travel teams too. So they know each other well. And they get excited when they have to play each other, if you haven't noticed, between the two student sections at this point.
I have noticed. Felsing to face it off against Girgo here. Felsing for Montour. Linesman Mirich waiting and dropping. And won by West A, not cleared by Bandai. It was gloved down by Garagash, tossed over his head this time. And this will be another icing against West Allegheny, their 2nd consecutive. And expect to see a lot of that. Teams aren't going to take many chances, or at least they shouldn't, coming out of their own zone. If they're hemmed in, they're probably going to clear it to length and just do it again from their own end.
Absolutely. And just a note, Cole, he just messaged in, no, we will not have coverage from Quaker Valley and Meadville this evening. Unfortunately, we tried to get that covered and weren't able to. So we're going to give you updates as soon as we can between that contest.
And I'm just realizing, technically I misspoke. I said we'd have every playoff game covered. These are playoff games, but yeah, I meant first-round games.
This is a situation we tried to get it figured out, but unfortunately we weren't able to get somebody to go out for it. That's an 8:40 start from Frozen Pond Arena. We'll give you all the updates as we can get them.
Girgo wanted to pass it, elected to shoot it after options ran out on him. That's right into the breadbasket of Reinhold, and he hangs on with 1:07 to go in a suddenly halting first period. 2-2 is your score. Goals for Scholes and Girgo on the West A side. For Montour, it's Felsing and Garagash, the 2 top guns in the regular season. And now Felsing will scoop this one up. What a strong skater he is. I love to watch him pivot from back to forward. Now he sends this pass up far wing. Gollum, Muha shooting and absorbed by Ferry. That was Casperson actually on the relay, not Gollum, through the neutral zone. But either way, it was Muha getting the shot. These two teams, you're not going to see prodigious penalty minute totals on either side. The leader for all the active players in this game is Muha with 24 in the regular season, so maybe we shouldn't be surprised there are no penalties yet.
And that actually led to who the home team was in this game by tiebreaker. By the rule, it's actually the least amount of penalty minutes that would lead to the home team being selected, and that was Montour this season.
Wilpula couldn't clear. Girgo down to a knee, couldn't yank it through Casperson at close range. Now it comes through. Nolan, backhand pass, looking for Girgo again, nearly a carbon copy, but that time it didn't work.
3-on-1.
Now it's a 3-on-1 for Montour, 20 seconds to go in the first. Wilpula, backhand, centering, it goes off a skate, off of Bandai skating into the corner. Now down to 12 seconds. Wilpula, Garagash trying to jam it in, and Ferry made the stop. Net came off simultaneously. Doesn't matter, whistle sounds either way, with 8 seconds to go in the first.
Hasn't this been a fun first period, Matt Gajtka?
Dude, I'm having a ball. I don't know
That's
about you.
awesome. I'm having a blast.
This is as good as it gets with the atmosphere being what it is. It'll naturally elevate things, right?
Yeah, I'm looking down at the bowl again. This place is packed, at least in the main seating. at least in the main seating.
Migliozzi, cross ring, Garagash, score!
Whoa!
It's 3-2 Montour. 4.5 left in the first. Might have been deflected. At the very least, there was a screen. Garagash put it on a line. He has back-to-back goals, and the Spartans have their first lead of the night.
Wow. Well, this game has had everything so far. You've had some pretty stellar saves. You've had good defensive play, but a 3-2 game in the first. You can't look much further than the scoring. And I'll tell you what, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Maybe you have a little bit of both. It works out even better.
Bandai from the own side, his own side of the red line, I should say. Stop made by Reinhold as the buzzer sounds. Well, West Allegheny scored first. They led twice. Montour carries a 3-2 advantage into the first intermission, which, if you're unfamiliar with PIHL pucks, I'm sure there might be a few of you out there. It's not much of a break after one period. It's a quick breather, and then the second period begins rather quickly. After the second, we take the break for the ice resurfacing. I'm Matt Gajtka with Brian Mitchell. This is Berg Hockey Live on berghockey.com and our YouTube page, where you can find that independently of the website. But we suggest you go to the website because for everything you want in terms of coverage in the PIHL, berghockey.com, Pittsburgh Hockey Digest is the place to go. And it starts tomorrow in earnest with the first round games.
Unfortunately, because of the Quaker Valley Meadville game not being covered tonight, we almost had every game covered. Unfortunately, we're sorry about that. We weren't able to get somebody to go up to Frozen Pond. But the next 2 days, we are 100% covered for all the games, especially the one up in Hess. We actually got Alan Saunders to drive up to Hess to make sure we had every first round game covered this year. So I'll break it down for you here momentarily as I had to look at the brackets again to tell you, but maybe we'll talk about that in the second half, in the second intermission. But at this point, I can tell you that we've got it won't even let me get to the website. It's the fun thing is like trying to figure out some of these websites. And let's just look at the brackets real fast, and I'll tell you.
Well, keep in mind you can go to PIHL Hockey for the full brackets as well.
So
PIHLhockey.com.
at Barrel Ice Complex on Monday, it's going to be Matt Popchalk and Glenn Himes helping us out in that doubleheader. You're going to be at Princegate broadcasting the Cannon Mac, Pine Richland, Peters Township, Cathedral Prep matchups. Upper St. Clair Seneca Valley is going to be Ed Major for both days at Ice Castle. Todd Hunter is going to be up at Center Ice Arena and PIA for the first 2 days. I'm going to be broadcasting from Kirk Nevin Arena, and we've still got more
Boykin
going on.
driving wide to start the second. Sorry, nearly
You're good.
jammed it in to make it 3-3.
There's action here.
Plenty of action and plenty of detail that you do want to take a look at, both on berghockey.com and PIHLhockey.com. Bandai's shot, that looked like it was ticketed for the top left corner, but it sailed wide by inches. Goodness gracious. Back we come the other way. Montour with a 3-2 lead. Felsing picking his way to the outside, stick handling well. Now centering, and it went right through the wheelhouse of Migliozzi. I'm not sure how he missed on that, but he healed it a bit. Now Migliozzi to the front. He had a wide open man, Muha, but just missed him by an inch or two. Plenty of chances in this one. Broken up out near the point. Stroka will save it, but Nolan kept it out of the reach of the Spartans, albeit briefly. Felsing deking beautifully, dropped it off. Stroka shot it, save made Ferry, who held his ground on the post, standing up old school style. Freeman will rip it in, try to get the forecheck going again, and Migliozzi is there to retrieve it on first touch. Anthony Migliozzi, the junior, 14 goals, 29 total points in the regular season for him. Sweet now setting sail. Sweet is poke checked by Stroka. Stroka knocks it right by Bandai. On the chase, here's Cavanaugh, and icing is wiped out. Cavanaugh got there first, but the second touch was good from Alex Morton of West Allegheny to keep it out of the danger zone. Bandai unable to escape originally. Now Nick Bandai tries again. Against Gollum. Gave it up in the center of the ice to Garagash. One-on-one moving in. Garagash, score! It's a hat trick for Dusty Garagash, and it's 4-2 Montour. He put it off the posted end with 15:15 left in the second.
What just steal for Garagash, come across and fire just the perfect shot across and past Ferry, and it's 4-2 timeout West Allegheny. And I think I was talking to talking to one of the parents earlier, they had an 8 a.m. game this morning in Columbus. So they're back here ready to play again. He's got a hat trick in this one.
Garagash with the HT from the blue line, and what you just saw there's the Rover personified. He was the first one up on the forecheck as they set up the neutral zone. The Spartans I'm talking about of Montour intercepted that pass into the middle of the ice from Bandai, and so far advantage Garagash and the Spartans against Bandai and the Indians. 4-2, 3 straight goals for Montour.
I'll tell you this much, the tale of two towns on the benches, the West A bench, quiet, collective, listening to their coach, trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then Montour, Clayshell screaming on the bench, trying to keep them amped for what they've accomplished so far and try to make sure that West A doesn't get back into this one. I mean, you realize this is the last game for one of these two teams. Some of these seniors are playing in their last game right now.
The 5th hat trick of the senior season for Dusty Garagash. He had a 6-goal game against Meadville, 8 points. So we're still ways away from that. I was going to check to see what his high was. It's 6, unbelievably, or believably if you look at his season totals. More than 2 points a game for him. A chance for Howcroft in the slot for West A. So the Indians have a response, but they can't get it through against Anthony Reinholt, the sophomore goalie, and the defenders in front of him. Wilpula will shoot in. It's a 4-2 Montour lead. West A was great to start. Montour's been better since. It's an honest lead at this moment. Howcroft can't connect on to Scholes. He'll head into the corner, though. Casperson tried to run him off. Now Garagash will take. Garagash lost it. Howcroft trying to go snipe City under the crossbar, but that was off the shoulder of Reinhold. Bounced out to the neutral zone, just barely got over the blue line. Wilpula on his knees kept the puck impressively.
Great play by Wilpula.
Holden Wilpula swirling in behind the goal. The handoff, Felsing shot it, maybe a shot pass that was rejected in front either way. Felsing once more. Felsing to Garagash behind the net. Garagash with 3 goals in this game, looking for an assist that time, but the puck jumped right past Preston Robb in front. Scholes, slapper, well over the crossbar from outside the right circle. Garagash, a quick up. Felsing, offside. Spartans, they had Muha going to the net. It was a 3-on-1. And the Montour student section expresses its displeasure for that call down to our right. 13:54 to go in the second period.
Yeah, the West A Indians just jumped out after that timeout, got a lot of momentum going. Montour trying to match it, but we'll see how West A if they can maintain it and possibly get one in the net here. 1 goal could go a long way for West A getting back into this one, especially how fast they've been scoring.
These single elimination playoff games, too, they have wild emotional swings. Doesn't matter what level you're talking about, from here all the way up to the NHL. So if you can just manage it, Girgo nearly put that one in, but it slipped wide of the right post on the turning drive from the slot. Felsing, another down and out, if you will, to Muha.
4-on-2.
Now Stroka, high stepping, dropping, Felsing, whiff, got it back to the doorstep, save made by Ferry, loose puck in front, and he holds on. Big save, and now gloves and fists come up in front of the net. And it appears that'll calm down. Speaking of emotions, Josh Ferry made the biggest save of the season for West Allegheny, and some frustration for Montour.
Girgo and Muha are absolutely jaw-jacking at each other right now. Wow, they took them, both the linesmen to separate them. Now Felsing. Oh man. Well, I guess they're going to try stop being polite here.
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah.
The pleasantries, the acquaintances have been renewed, and
yeah, now I know who you guys are.
right, we have Morgan in the box for West Allegheny, and
Muha.
that's Muha.
It's got to be Muha.
That's where we have our first penalties of this game.
Listen, that was a phenomenal series by Ferry that just stopped. They had a 4-on-2 coming in. Nobody really came in to give them any help. They had a lot of time in front of the net. Ferry just stonewalled. Oh.
2 each for roughing. I was waiting for the call from the PA system. Pardon me, as Bandai nearly coughed that one up in the middle. Now Gollum to Saudi Philippe. Stroka skating on. Stroka didn't get through. Rebound score! Montour's got another one, and it's Sal DeFilippe from the edge of the blue paint. 5-2 Spartans.
This is what we were seeing last time we were here watching West Allegheny. Just seems like they're getting caught flat-footed in their back check, just being able to get in there and help Montour. And Montour's just dropping that additional forward down to the net, and it's just not helping West Allegheny's effect here.
7 goals on the board. We've played just barely beyond 20 minutes. It's about 23 minutes of action. West A led this one, believe it or not, 1-0 in 2-1. Now it's 5-2 Montour in this winner-take-all play-in game. Garagash squeaks by a check on the wall. Dusty Garagash with 3 goals already. Tries to shove that one in from along the goal line, but Ferry sticked it away. Yeah, you're right, Mitch. They're just giving the blue line up way too easily on these counters. West A, that is. Bandai couldn't get by. Good team defending from Montour. I don't care what level you're talking about. You give the attacking team that much speed, they're going to back you off, and it's going to lead to scoring chances. Offside here against West Allegheny.
And that was the other half, is they're just not bringing anybody in to defend. It's just like they're getting caught flat-footed in the neutral zone. Then the guys who are needing to drop back to get on those 4-on-2s and help out a little bit just aren't making it back in time, and Montour's just dumped all their players on net, crashed completely. Just full send at this point.
And these are some terrific scoring chances for Montour. They only have, the Spartans, that is, 16 shots, but 5 have gone in. And that's pretty indicative of the quality of opportunities that they've generated. But here's Bandai. Nolan, and he missed the net. Gold-plated chance. Girgo laid the shoulder in to Robb. Here's Sweet. Nick Sweet couldn't cut back against the grain with the puck. Presley Robb broke it up. And Robb, the junior, sends it down the ice. Garagash skating after it hard. Medved couldn't get away from him. He centered it, Garagash. And now Gollum will pull it away from Sweet in the corner. Garagash tried to tuck it in on the backhand quickly, but unable to turn it over.
It's a notice of what I was just talking about. Schaltenbrand just went straight to the net.
4-on-2, and it's Girgo. Shot was blocked. Turning wraparound try by Sweet, and the stop made by Reinhold.
Yes.
So a couple of decent rushes there for West A, and really unlucky to not get one back on the board. West A hasn't scored since the opening 5 minutes of this game. Stroka goes right to the front. Montour, it doesn't matter what position you're playing. If the D is closest to the puck, he's going after it, and he's going in deep. So they're playing a true 5-man game, are the Spartans. Bandai to the backhand. Lost control, but he got it back. Tried to spin a pass in front. That's off of Kasperson and cleared by the Spartans. 10:50 left in the second period. 5-2 Montour. These regional rivals go head-to-head. Face-off coming up in the Montour zone after Reinhold pinned it down.
This has been fun so far. I mean, 7 goals on. We are 24 minutes, just under 24 minutes into this contest. And it's still not decided, even if it's a 5-2 game.
No, I don't feel very safe in calling it at this point.
No. Like, West A can turn that other switch on, especially in a rivalry game like this. I saw them, they had Latrobe a couple months ago when we had that game at the Alpha Ice Complex in the Scholastic Showcase, and they went to a double overtime 3-3 thriller that went to a shootout. So
Gollum testing the glove hand of Ferry, and Ferry says, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Ferry had 71 saves in that game.
Whoa,
so
okay.
It was insanity how this West A team is just built to be able to come back. And it starts with Josh Ferry, where it's just been a rough start, and it's not all his fault at this point.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
I think he's played a pretty strong game despite giving up 5.
Yeah.
Made a couple saves to keep his team in it, that's for sure. No, wide open one like this one, it's not going to be your typical, Martin Brodeur 20-save performance that's going to get it done. You're going to need a superhuman effort if you want to shut the other team down. Scholes to the outside. West A trying to get a third here. That would certainly make things a lot more interesting at this moment. In deep. Boykin Jr. on it. TJ Boykin Jr. behind the goal line. Tyler Howcroft spun off the puck. Battle on, though, for it, and here's Scholes covering up. Scholes, who scored first in this game. On his backhand side, couldn't get it by Reinhold, who closed down all possible angles, at least with the shot. Might have been a chance to slip that pass through the top of the crease, but tough to do with all that traffic. Tyler Morgan in deep to Boykin. Boykin flipped it off a stick, taken it in front of the net by Austin Schaltenbrand and tossed to the side. Schaltenbrand, one of two Schaltenbrands in this game. I'll try to specify when I have the chance. Scholes pulls it free and shoots, and that's off a body and into the corner. Big drive by Morgan, hit a skate. Still not out though. West A turning up the pressure. Scholes off the side of the net. Didn't get to the front. Howcroft though, spinning away and wristing, and that hit Molka and Caromed wide. Under 9 to go in the second period. Best shift in a long time for West A, sustained pressure-wise. To the front of the net, pulled free. Boykin couldn't get the shot off, and the Spartans can escape. Migliozzi to Muha. Can't have much left in the tank after defending for all that time. Scholes will handle this relay, put it up to the Montour line. Jeremy Freeman, sophomore D-man, pops it deep. Morgan's back to take this. Morgan hands off to Morton. West A's number 65, try to bank pass, low percentage there for Girgo. It goes for an icing with 8:22 remaining in the second.
They're underway at Frozen Pond Arena. It is 0-0 so far. The only update is that there was a incident between Bemis and Lewis, and they took two coincidental minors of 41 seconds.
Speaking of coincidental minors, the two that were issued to Montour's Muha and West Allegheny's Morgan have expired. As you might have guessed, both were just out there for that last shift. Those are the only penalties in this game. All 7 goals at even strength. Neither side has had a power play chance. And for West A, maybe that's the way they like it, because Montour's power play converted 43% of the time in the regular season. Second best in AA, only to Greater Latrobe. To the outside. Nick Sweet. What moves? What skating? And he's stopped there by Reinhold. Back out to the line. Wrister by Medved didn't get through. Girgo waits, looks. Girgo lost control, and Rob can't get it out. Bandai held the line. Nick Bandai, one good move, another good move. Shot it, gloved by Reinhold, and it's cleared by the Spartans. Back for it goes Bandai, cruising to it. Those long strides, smooth skater is Bandai. Got past 2 Spartans and handed it off on the far wing to Sweet. Wanted to go back to Bandai, couldn't do it. Felsing now. Change on the move for Montour. It's 3 men into the zone. Felsing, doorstep, save by Ferry on the point-blank chance from Preston Muha.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Ferry getting into his element and getting that opportunity to know how the play's developing. That's when he's at his best, is that whenever he can see that player on the far post and make that kick save, which was just gorgeous, coming across his crease to keep this a 3-goal game and keep his team in it.
Well, you can see just how big of a game this is. Every time there's a close call and players miss a chance, hands on head. You don't see that reaction during regular season games very much, unless
Absolutely
it's a
not.
huge moment, late and close. In this game, every moment is important, even for the team leading by 3. Garagash couldn't center it there after the face-off win by Montour. Casperson at the line. Elects to play it deep there. Felsing trying to go backdoor. Garagash made a big looping route to the back post, but didn't connect. It was intercepted and cleared. No icing here, by the way. Ruled that the Spartans could have touched it. Muha pries it loose from a couple of Indians and makes a great headman pass to Garagash. He goes to Felsing. Felsing on his backhand, defended well there by Morgan, but Felsing pulls it into his skates. The Michael Felsing show right now, off to Muha. Try to go short side, no sail. Ferry held it there, and it's cleared past Felsing. It bounced over his stick with 6.5 left in the second. 5-2 Montour. The Spartans have the only 2 goals of this period. Boykin to the middle. Felsing tapped it ahead. It's a 3-on-2. Migliozzi setting up for the one-timer. Did he hit the post with that? I think
he hit both the stick and the post. He caught it off the stick and the post.
From this angle, I was right behind Migliozzi. I was sure it was going in. Migliozzi now a backhand, intercepted, and it's Sweet. Couldn't put it in inside that left post. Reinhold reached with the blocker. Now he puts his own net back on its moorings down to our left as Bandai goes over to Medved. Medved, a bouncing puck to the crease, and Reinholt holds on. 5:46 left in the second period. with Reinhold Spartans ahead 5-2, trying to advance to tomorrow's opening round quarterfinal game in the AA Penguins Cup bracket against Mars. The Planet's waiting for the winner of this one. Girgo couldn't shovel that to the front. Nearly a breakaway chance for Saudi Philippe, who recently scored on a rebound. It slides in on Ferry, who pins it to the ice surface. I'm Matt Gajtka with Brian Mitchell. This is Berg Hockey Live. What a way to cap our season for Berg Hockey Live.
Yeah. We've got
Gollum right through the top of the crease.
a fantastic rivalry game in a game that matters the most at this point.
D. Philippe, look out, coming this way. Really gave us a souvenir. But it banged off the high glass in front of the penalty box area. Gollum to take this dump in. He's got Cavanaugh making a move, but he finds D. Philippe, who swirls it right back to the front, or nearly got it there, but Bandai saved the day for West A. Bandai fake to his right, now goes left and shot one right into the chest, right into the Spartan logo on the jersey of Reinhold. Cleared it all the way down 200 feet by the Spartans. That'll be an icing. Anthony Reinhold, the sophomore, started 4 of the last 5 in the regular season. Made 38 saves in a 4-3 win over West A on November the 18th. Zach O'Malley, the senior, saw action in 4, but he hasn't started in more than a month now. He played against Plum in a game that Montour won 9-5. Redirected shot in the low slot. Garagash kicks it to his stick. Garagash, the hero so far in this one, the primary hero with a hat trick. But this dish ahead, a saucer play, was too far for Rob to handle. Another icing.
Tell you what, this game's moving along pretty quickly too. In all things considered, not a lot of whistles other than goals.
With 7 goals on the board, yeah, you're right. There haven't been many penalties.
I mean, we're only 45 minutes into this one.
Shot from Girgo, blocked down. Nick Sweet will take it. The only West A player with a single-digit number. Here's your fun fact for the night. Wrist shot coming through, deflected from Morton. Sweet turns, got it on line, and what's the stoppage here? The net is off its pegs, and we've seen that a couple of times behind Reinhold in this second period.
That's been a historic problem here at the Island, is that net in the far end zone. I remember a couple seasons ago, you probably remember this with the
Sure
Robert
do.
Morris, and that specific net they've always had an issue with. It's been good the last couple years, but I think as the season wears down, it just gets a little more worn out.
Well, I've noticed they're not using the marsh pegs here. For the RMU Division I men's and women's hockey games, they use the deep marsh pegs. For these games, it's just the pin. Nolan blocked in front by Garagash, playing the second goalie there. So they're just going to come off more often as we get further along in a game, too. There's not that surface tension with the wet ice, so
Correct.
It'll pop right off. 4:10 left before the only intermission of the night. Well, maybe. We could go overtimes. And it will be 5-on-5 overtimes if we do. We're playing under playoff rules. So 3-on-3, OT is out, shootouts are out the rest of the way. Long lead pass, Nolan works one-on-one here against Kasperson. Nolan, he's got Bandai making a break for it, and he elected to shoot, did Nolan, and it's gobbled up by Reinhold. And Bandai, I think a little discouraged. He was hoping for that pass to the slot. Otherwise, never a bad idea to shoot, but when you have the leading gun in the middle of the ice, maybe a second thought. And especially now when West A's got to take advantage of every chance that it can get.
Got about 20 minutes left in this contest, too. Try to get back into it.
Garagash looking up. This goes right through Felsing and right on goal. Josh Ferry handles and dishes away with that big broad goal stick all the way back to the Montour line. Garagash tries again with the headman delivery. Again, he can't find Muha. Spun around the boards, and it'll come out to center. Gabe Loff on the forward check here. Third line out for West Allegheny. Felsing lifted the stick of Bandai, and Felsing has some room. Backdoor, Garagash at the outside of the goal with it. And the net came off on Ferry's pushover. But I don't believe that one was going in anyway. Nearly a fourth goal. What a gorgeous dish from Felsing to the back post. Montour putting on a show offensively in this one so far. Montour scored 95 goals in the regular season, allowed 68. That was the 4th best differential in the league. This Southwest Division had 3 of the 4 best goal differentials out of the 16 AA teams in PIHL. You're looking at 2 of them right now. DeFilippe, the drag move and the shot, and he could not beat the pad of Ferry on the short side post. Bandai tried to carry it out, but Cavanaugh got a stick in the way. Cavanaugh to DeFilippe. Under 3 to go in the second. Morgan went around the horn with it. This will be taken by Howcroft. Spun a pass beautifully onto Boykin. Drop feed. Bandai lines one up, and he stubbed the shot. Came off knuckling from his stick. Now he tries to get back as Garagash will try to lead it ahead. Garagash, the breakaway, stopped by Ferry, and the net comes off again, but again it was after the shot. Dusty Garagash, same shift, 2 gold-plated opportunities for his 4th goal of the night. Neither one he can convert.
Garagash was just shot out of a cannon as soon as he got to the opposite side of the defender. Brought it in, and it just came in really hard. Ferry read it the same way, and as he came in, made the save and kicked the net off in the same movement. So yes, that was a shot before the net came off. Beautiful play by Garagash, but better save by Ferry.
He and Felsing have brought their absolute A games tonight. And Nolan, he's played well too for West Allegheny. Nolan to the front, went right by everybody. Gollum will take it high in the zone, but he can't clear. Bandai, he's probably going to play the whole rest of this game for West Allegheny with the Indians down 3.
I've seen him do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen Garagash do a similar thing on the other side too. It's so interesting how these teams are almost carbon copies of each other. Made this matchup so tantalizing. Morgan wristing, save Reinhold, big rebound though, and he couldn't get rid of it, but luckily for him, Tommy Gollum did blast it away. And taking the rest of the way out the center by Saudi Philippe. Bandai shrugs off a couple of Spartans. Bandai's in, and he's stopped by Reinhold once more.
We got an update from Frozen Pond Arena. Quaker Valley 1, Meadville nothing. Noah Matty scored at 9:14 of the first. Assist from Josh Bemis. So it's 1-0 Quakers over Bulldogs in the first period at Frozen Pond and the other qualifier.
What feels like an upset that we've stayed at 5-2 for the last few minutes. As both teams have had their chances. And again, here are the Spartans breaking up quickly in a 3-on-3 rush. Felsing, the curl on his forehand, dished on the backhand to the corner for Migliozzi. Want to go back to Felsing on the give and go, didn't work. Now Nolan bats down this airborne pass. But again, Montour's on the loose puck. Stroka, Luha couldn't get the deflection on the wrister. Felsing takes in the corner. He went behind the back, but Nolan is there to take for West A. His flip connects on to Sweet. He's got Bandai in the middle, does Nick Sweet. Sweet holding, trying to set it up. Still kept it. Now he hooked up to Nolan. The blast kicked out by Reinhold. And right here is Migliozzi. Couldn't feather it through 3 Indians at center. Morgan put it right back in, under a minute to play in the second period. Long lead pass, glove down by Felsing. Great play ahead. Felsing lines one up, wanted to go backdoor to Muha, and he shortened up on the stick, but he couldn't knock that out of the air. He had a very low percentage chance to do it, but he gave it his best shot. By the way, that pass from Freeman from his own zone was what sprung Felsing. Now Freeman defends here against Bandai. Girgo pokes it ahead, under 30 left in the second period. West A trying to get back within 2 before the horn in the intermission. Now 18 seconds, behind the back pass, in front. Morgan Howcroft didn't get a quick shot off, and then he did on the second opportunity, but by then, Reinhold had telescoped out to cut off all the angles. Face-off coming up with 14.2 remaining in the second.
I've been sitting on the last 2 minutes thinking how big a goal for West A at the end of this period would be, and they've given every opportunity of getting one. Reinhold's been up to task, and a little bit of luck for the Montour Spartans right now, holding on to a 3-goal lead. And I say that with every intent.
Garagash will take it out himself. He's the one-man breakout now. Put it through the legs of Bandai. Garagash, he's stopped again by Ferry, and again the net is off, and that time it actually cost West A because the Indians were turning it up ice to go on the counter. Now there are only 2.9 seconds left, so it would have been a heck of a counter move to get back and get a scoring chance, but Now they have to deal with the defensive zone draw.
You never know in this game and the bounces that we've had.
And Montour, they're being told they can change, and they will because they didn't knock the net off. It was
Garagash is taking the face off.
He's probably going to try to shoot this one.
I wouldn't be surprised. There it is.
And he did.
And he did, and it had to be saved.
Oh, boy. Testing Ferry near the buzzer. The Montour Spartans are 17 minutes away from a berth in the quarterfinal round against Mars tomorrow. They've laid it all out there. So is West Allegheny, but so far it's a 3-goal lead for the technical home team in this AA play-in game on Berg Hockey Live. I'm Matt Gajtka with Brian Mitchell. We'll take a break, catch our breath, and bring it on back for the third period of play. Keep it right here on berghockey.com.
just one game out of town here, and it is, of course, Meadville and Quaker Valley facing off for the right to face Baldwin in the first round at Ice Castle Arena. And that game currently is 1-1 as Noah Matty and Cole Weber exchanged goals about, let's see, that's 57 seconds apart. So those two are going to go at it for the remainder of the game. They're in the first period. I added a little ticker to the bottom of the screen so that if anyone wants to check the updated score there, I'll update it when I get an opportunity to do so. But that's it for here. The playoff picture starting to heat up here. I'll be back to talk a little bit about what we're going to do for the postseason. We'll be back momentarily here at the Island. It is 5-3. Montour Spartans lead the West Allegheny Indians. So we're back here at the Island. It's 5-2 in favor of Montour over West Allegheny in our first qualifier game of the evening. The other one going on right now is a 1-1 game at Frozen Pond Arena as Meadville and Quaker Valley battle off to see who gets to face the Baldwin Highlanders in the first round of the postseason. But we're going to talk about that bracket real fast, and we're going to start in the AA since we're here now. Mars awaiting the winner of this contest. They'll be playing at 7 o'clock at Barrel Ice Complex. It'll be Matt Popchalk and Glenn Himes. Baldwin will host the winner of the Meadville Quaker Valley matchup. I have that score on a little ticker at the bottom of the screen to your right of your screen if you want to check that out. That'll be at Ice Castle at 7. Ed Major will be there. Plum and Hempfield on Monday at 8 p.m. at Pittsburgh Ice. That'll be a Jared Todhunter matchup. He'll be up there. And then I will be broadcasting Greater Latrobe and Armstrong at Kirk Nevin Arena at 7:15 for Class B action. Class AA action. In the single A bracket, North Catholic and South Park, Gary Heeman will be at the RMU Sports Complex at 7 p.m. for that one for you. Thomas Jefferson Blackhawk, Ed Major probably sleeping at Ice Castle that evening. We'll have that one for you. And Kiski Norwin, Todd Hunter on Tuesday. That is at Center Ice Arena at 8:10 p.m. Bishop McCourt and Indiana. I will be hosting the broadcast of Berg Hockey Live from, once again, tomorrow at Kirk Nevin Arena in Greensburg. It'll be Bishop McCourt, Indiana in that matchup. So that's in single A. And then we move along and talk about the AAA real fast. North Allegheny and Bethel Park at Barrel. That's going to be Alan Saunders up at the Barrel Ice Complex. Cannon McMillan, Pine Richland. The legend himself sitting to my left will be on the audio-only broadcast of that one at 9 p.m. from Prinscape on Tuesday. Upper St. Clair, Seneca Valley. That's at Ice Castle Arena. A very tired Ed Major will be covering that one for you. And then at Peters Township and Cathedral Prep, the opening game at Prinscape. That'll be a video broadcast, I hope, from our buddy Matt Gajtka. So that's your pure divisions, and we'll jump real fast into Class B during the breaks of this game. But right now, it's 5-2 Montour leading West A. West A needs to get back into this one.
Thank you for that, Brian Mitchell. I'm Matt Gajtka. As Brian just described, in 2 nights, I'll be down at Prinscape for a doubleheader in Class AAA. This is Class AA, and this is one of 2 play-in games on the night. That's right, 18 games in the regular season weren't enough to decide the 18 Penguins Cup bracket. And the score is Quaker Valley 1, Meadville 1 in the other play-in game going on right now, which started about an hour after we did. Garagash will shoot in from center. This is off the chest protector of Josh Ferry. Josh Ferry has kept his West A team in this one. 2 great saves after Montour went up 5-2. But it is still 5-2. Early stages, very early stages, third period. Felsing's played an awesome game tonight. One of the most dangerous players in Western Pennsylvania, but couldn't make anything happen there. And we have some special viewers right now. Brian Mitchell, the Mars Planets are checking this one out. Scouting mission.
Hey, you got to see who you're going to play.
That's coming up in now less than 24 hours. Hey, why not? If we got it available, we're happy to be of service to the Planets. We're waiting for the winner of this one. This will be icing against West Allegheny. Mars won the Northwest, by the way, as they await the runner-up in the Southwest. That's how the brackets work in AA.
Still 1-1 there.
AA and A with the 4 division setup this year. AAA, again, just the 1 division. 11 teams in AAA this year, so 3 sit it out. Nick Sweet, the bespectacled one for West Allegheny. You don't see the glasses very often in hockey, but he's got them on. It's first I'm noticing it, actually. As we have some time now, there's some repair work being done way down to our right, in front of the goal of Anthony Reinhold of Montour. A couple of referees working, or 1 referee, 1 linesman, I should say, working with the puck to smooth over some cracks and creases in the crease. We just had the ice resurfacing, but didn't quite take in front of Reinhold's goal. And it appears to their satisfaction, the hole has been mended, or a couple of holes.
Let's see that they're working on their synchronized skating routine now.
Working on their hockey stop. Still trying to create some snow to put in the cracks.
I'm giving them a 5. They're not staying consistent.
Well, some time now to talk about Class B, right?
Yeah, let me jump into that. I forgot that I was doing that. Class B, Neshannock and Morgantown on Monday at Hess. Alan Saunders will be making the trip up to Newcastle for that contest. Carrick and Burrell at Ice Castle on Monday. That's the second of Ed Major's exodus to the Ice Castle Arena. Reinhold, Wilmington, we have Ed Thompson's going to be helping us out and covering that game down in the Mon Valley, and then at Barrel Ice Complex on Monday. Matt Popchak will close out his coverage with Glenn Himes at the Barrel Ice Complex as Avonworth hosts Elizabeth Forward.
We're playing hockey again in a 5-2 Montour lead. Cavanaugh couldn't keep for Montour. Now West A. And Bovalina trying to swing one to the front of the goal, but that's fended off nicely by the Spartans. Montour in the white with the gold helmets and the black pants. Charging in behind the goal is Tommy Gollum. Hasn't been heard from very often in this one, but he scored 2 goals in the all-important win last week at Penn Trafford to help the Spartans turn a 3-3 game into a 7-3 win. Gollum pushes this puck ahead with his glove. Gets the first touch on it, so no hand pass there. And a stash to the front. Goes right through the blue paint. Bandai tripped
Penalty.
up. We're going to have our first power play of this game early in the third period. Now Bandai wiped out by the boards by Saudi Philippe. But here's the call from referee Music. And are there 2 penalties being called here? I thought both referees had their hands up. It might have been for separate infractions. They talked it over, Morgan and Music. Tripping appears to be the only call.
Tripping is the call here, yes.
I didn't catch who went in the box for Montour. Was it D. Philippe?
91, Cavanaugh.
Oh, 91, okay. Thank you for that. Getting screened out here with this great crowd we have at the RMU Island Sports Center on Neville Island.
It's a nice thing about these wraps he put on the helmets. He put the numbers on the opposite side from the Spartan, so I was able to catch the number from the penalty box. Not something you really want to be using it for, but...
Well, the Montour helmets do look good. Kind of a football style, asymmetrical look. Gear go. West A gets the power play and a crucial one early in this third. Sweet scans his options. The toss over to Nolan. Cross rink, hit a skate. And plucked out of there by Felsing, and he guns it down the ice. West Allegheny's power play this season, 22%, 11.57, 8th out of 16 teams. Montour killed penalties at an 81% clip, 4th best. Montour's special teams on the aggregate a little bit better than West A's this season. Muha taking it shorthanded and shooting. Ferry tried to gobble it up but couldn't, but better for him that he didn't, because now here comes Sweet on the counterattack rush on the power play. Sweet takes the handoff there from Girgo. Girgo has a goal in this game. Nolan has an assist, and he has the puck now, but he handed it over in the middle of the ice to Garagash, and he's going to rag it and hold and send the length. 1 minute gone on the tripping minor to Aiden Cavanaugh of Montour.
Meadville leads 2-1.
Cross ring dish intercepted, so the Bulldogs in the driver's seat now. Here it's the Spartans, the favorites to move on, but it's still not over yet, especially now with a power play for West A, but Gollum got to that puck below the Montour goal line and jammed it around the wood and out. 30 seconds left on the West Allegheny power play, our first power play of this game, and it hasn't been like the referees have swallowed the whistles or anything. It's just been a very clean game for the most part. Nolan, though, gave it away in the middle. Migliozzi. And then Nolan was checked for his efforts by Garagash, the sturdy one on the Montour blue line. Dusty Garagash's natural hat trick has Montour ahead 5-2. They went from 2-1 down to up 4-2 after one period. Girgo on the centering attempt goes off the partition and right to Cavanaugh coming out of the box after the Montour clear. He has Migliozzi on the back door, put it to him, but handcuffed him a bit on the backhand side. Girgo forging ahead. Run off by Cavanaugh, but he flipped it deep. Boykin Jr. trying to get there on the retrieval, but can't. Cavanaugh, number 91 for Montour, couldn't get it by Nick Bandai at the point. Now Bandai pulls it around a man. Bandai off the glove of Reinhold and cleared away by the Spartans to the side wall with Bandai and Boykin lurking. Now Boykin at the front, turning chance, Girgo, save Reinhold, and no rebound, just as importantly. And then the helmet of Reinhold comes off, and we have a penalty I believe, against Nick Bandai, the captain of West Allegheny.
Frustration penalty there. Migliozzi and him had a conversation. I guess there was a slash that broke the stick. And they're calling Migliozzi here.
Oh, really? I am shocked by that.
Hold on. Migliozzi threw his stick over the glass after he was going back with a broken stick.
So that negates the potential.
Yeah, I think they're calling him for a
Montour power play.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike. But he just whipped the stick over the glass and out of play. And I think that was the equalizer there. They're going to call it.
So we'll play 5-on-5, it appears.
No, yeah.
Coincidental minors, the call against Bandai of West A and Migliozzi of Montour. No offense to Anthony Migliozzi, but Bandai being out is difficult circumstance for West Allegheny. Scholes was pinned to the wall for West A, but
no, Migliozzi for the cross check.
Migliozzi cross check, all right.
Yeah, okay.
And Bandai for slashing. But here are the Indians. Howcroft trying to center to Bovalina, making a beeline to the net, but didn't get there. Now Schultz looking to stuff. Reinhold thought he had it pinned down, but it was plucked away from him. Morton guided it down the wall. Another penalty coming up, and a Spartan is down in the slot. That is Cavanaugh. And Bovalina has a word with him. But it appears that it's Jake Schultz heading off for the red-clad Indians for a cross check. And it appeared to be a brutal one. Power play Montour, and this could be the capper for the Spartans if they can convert on it. West A goes short for the first time tonight. And they put the Spartans power play on the ice, which converted 43% of its opportunities. Nearly a 50-50 proposition when they had a power play this season that they were going to score. Montour was second to Greater Latrobe, which was basically at 50% this season.
Yeah.
Montour did give up 4 shorties, so they're going to want to watch that with a 5-2 lead. So says Captain Obvious here with the headset on. Garagash to the corner. 3 goals on the night for Dusty Garagash. The relay to Felsing. Preston Muha. Felsing, wristing, Girgo, got that long stick in the way to deflect it into the screen. Face-off coming up in the West Allegheny zone. Nearly 6 minutes into this third period. No goals in this third period. We had 5 in the first. It was 3-2 Montour after the first. I think I misspoke earlier. I said it was 4-2. It was actually 3-2 Montour on Garagash's goal with 4 seconds left in the period. That was the pivot point. Now Garagash handles, lines one up, glove saved by Ferry on his knees. And Josh Ferry, don't let the scoreline fool you. I think he's played a good game tonight.
The one name you haven't heard a lot of so far, other than you saying he's playing a pretty solid game, has been Shane Nolan. Nolan likes to sneak in behind the defense on the penalty kill and try to get that extra pass, that stretch pass, whenever it's a favorable opportunity. And he's always ready for that. He's a one-on-one threat at any given time.
Felsing's shot or a pass, either way, it was blocked, rejected there. West A scored 6 shorthanded goals this season. A chance for Montour to add one on, but Freeman couldn't shovel it home. Ferry controls again. Yes, 6 shorthanded goals for West A. 3 of them by Nick Sweet, 2 by Jake Girgo, 1 by Tyler Howcroft. One of the more deadly penalty killing units in that way this year in all of the PIHL. 6 definitely catches your eye. That's 1 every 3 games in the regular season. But this is the only time the West A's been shorthanded tonight. Garagash connects on to Muha, driving wide on his backhand. Keeps it, wanted to center to Gollum, but there to intercept was Morton, bouncing puck to the line, and it did just barely get out, and this will be an offside call. Linesman Banda goes all over it. To our left, 10:22 left in the third, 38 seconds to go on the power play for Montour. Both these teams finished the regular season with records of 13-5. They finished tied for second in the Southwest Division. Both teams were 6-3 at home. Both teams very well rounded, good offensively, good defensively. Montour a little better Offensively, West A a little better defensively, but other than that, pretty close. Garagash again, cruising and shooting. That's blocked by Morton to the end wall. Garagash centered, Gollum. Oh my, he was robbed by Ferry. Ferry was down in the crab position, basically. He had both of his skates pinned against the post, and he made that save somehow, lunging out.
That's Josh Ferry for you. Once he gets comfortable and in a groove, he can steal a game. Unfortunately, so far, he just had a hard time early in this contest getting a little bit of help in front. And now in a bad bounce, we were just talking with Jeff Morrow, who was sitting behind the net for that goal. And he actually bounced it off of one of the stanchions, and it bounced off the back of his leg and in on that second goal.
Garagash to the middle, Freeman. Oh, it nearly knuckled through the pads of Ferry. Well, yes, let's rewind back to the first period, because after Jake Scholes had given West Allegheny, I'm skipping ahead to AAA. West Allegheny.
We're not there yet.
Oh, 1-0 lead. Michael Felsing scored from the right dot against Ferry. It deflected between his pads, off the post, maybe an inch over the goal line, but it all counts the same. And then the goal you're talking about, Garagash's first. He shot it wide off the end boards. Crazy bounce in front, off of Ferry and in. Now Bandai wristing, and Reinhold kicks it out.
Phenomenal save by Reinhold.
Power play is over with Bandai back on the ice for West A. Each team 0 for 1 now. Both of those opportunities coming early stages, third period. Now 9.5 to go in the third. Montour trying to hold on to this lead. The Spartans were down early, but they've been in control for most of the game at this point. Gollum has Wopala heading to the net, but he couldn't get the puck cleanly. Now he has it, finds Garagash, shot it off of Wopala's skate, and it hops over to this near side corner. Well, there was a deflection, just too much of a deflection. Morgan retrieves for West Allegheny.
That one didn't make it through.
No, this time the bridge-like structures at the top of this facility up on the ceiling blocked that attempted clear. Well, since I keep mentioning North Allegheny, let's say they're the #1 seed in the AAA division. They held off Upper St. Clair by 1 point.
Yep.
To take the regular season crown. So
they also swept Upper St. Clair, so
right.
Yeah, it would have
So
been a
there you go.
tiebreaker regardless. But yeah,
it's a double, so to speak, because they won the postseason last year. They win the regular season this year.
Yeah, it was it's going to be an interesting playoff with them this year, because you look at that AAA and you have to question who really has an advantage here.
Bandai, can he stuff it in? No. Reinhold answers in the negative, and Bandai is smothered there.
Schultenbrand, 32.
Austin Schultenbrand pinned him down, and I think Bandai's okay. He was just holding his
22,
ground there.
22.
And the Montour student section gives it to Bandai.
Yeah, it was Austin Schultenbrand, yeah.
These student sections have been tremendous, and Montour's has had more to cheer about since the opening minutes. I realize it's not feasible that you can have this kind of crowd for every game, but it does show you the potential of high school hockey in the area. And to the credit of schools in the area, to the credit of people who helped grow this game, these types of crowds have been getting more and more common. Dumped down the rink by Cavanaugh. He shakes his head. He didn't want to ice that puck, but he did. Hively back to touch. A rare shift for West Allegheny, and now it's interesting to see how Mike Kennedy handles things here, because down 3 in a single elimination format, you probably want to keep your top guns out there basically the whole rest of the time. 8:17 to play in regulation. Girgo tried to go forward, but it hops back to Bandai. Bandai shot it stumbling down. The handoff for Sweet. Reinhold had recovered by then, so Sweet didn't shoot. Bandai with the drag move. Wristed it off the end boards. Girgo takes it there. Jake Girgo, trying to make a move. Luke's his brother. Haven't seen him out on the ice yet tonight. Sweet.
He had a shift in second, I believe.
Center point shot. That was blocked in front. And another icing coming up against Montour. DeFilippe saying, hey, that was touched. And it was touched, but it was almost immediately after it was shot, and it was before the red line. I'm not sure if that matters. Apologize for not knowing that intricacy of the icing rule, at least in high school.
Don't believe it does, as long as it crosses that red line before foul.
Boykin to face it off for West A. Indians need one in a real hurry. They haven't had one since 4.5 minutes into this game. It was 2-1 Indians. And West A, which gave up 5 goals and losing here at home in the final game of the regular season, has given up 5 again. Defense was the calling card, but they've allowed some here late in the regular season and now into the postseason. Muha pokes it out for Montour. Now every clear is important for the Spartans. And every puck retrieval for West A gets more frantic. Howcroft poking it, but he couldn't get it past Felsing. And Muha will take back for the Spartans. Driving wide against Medved. His backhand patted out by Ferry. 7 minutes to go in regulation time. Still a 5-2 game for Montour. Bandai cruising and cutting back, handing off. Howcroft off the shoulder, rebound, put in, and it's rolled a good goal. Knocked out of the air by Clay Bovalina. It's 5-3, and it was extremely close, Brian Mitchell.
I don't know about that. That was really close, Matt. I'm going to pull this one on a full screen for the replay.
We do have the opportunity with the delay that we have. Well, Bandai handed it to Howcroft. His shot jumped off the shoulder.
I'm going to say that is
Reinhold.
actually a good goal. That came down low enough, but from our angle, we really can't tell.
No, we can't. We should make note of that.
There's no way we can tell from our angle if that's a good goal or not.
Well, either way, West A is alive with the sophomore Bovalina's 5th of the season.
There's no replay here.
Well, here's the hard part, because Bovalina came down with that stick swing.
Yeah.
But if he contacts it at the crossbar height, it doesn't matter if he came from above it.
This is where he contacts the puck. So it's not if he has the stick in the air, it's where he contacts the puck. And, from this angle, you can't tell where he contacts the puck. So.
And it's easy for us to say, well, just wait for it to drop. Yeah, right, when you're being checked from behind and you're desperately trying to score a goal. I think that was about as long as Bovalina could wait, standing right there, a foot away from the goal line. So it's 5-3. West A does get one back for the first time in a while. They have perforated Anthony Reinhold and the Spartans. 6.5 left in regulation. Now the Spartans going to want to hang on to it in the offensive zone. Kasperson in deep. Ferry sticked it away from the side of his net. Felsing got it on the 1v1 battle with Bandai, who's got to be dog-tired. Bandai has played about 40 minutes already tonight. It amazes me. Morgan at the front. Bandai bumped into him, lost it. Migliozzi. Oh, Ferry made the save. They score! Montour gets it right back. Felsing jams it home on the second chance. 6-3 Spartans, and that may have sent them through to the quarterfinal round.
Just the Dagger getting the extra opportunity in front.
Some confusion, and Bandai bumped into his own man that freed up the puck for Felsing to finish his second goal of the night, 22nd of the year.
Oh, wow.
And Bandai is laid out by Garagash, and Bandai's helmet comes flying off. Don't worry about his welfare there, but he appears to be okay. At least okay to skate to the bench on his own power. I apologize. I had my head down for that one. I didn't see it until the last second.
I saw it.
Well, I guess Bandai had his head down as well.
Matt.
We're getting a chance to watch the replay. I'm looking at it now. Bandai tried to play it through Garagash, and Garagash just stood him up.
Clean hit all day.
So Felsing scores, and then another huge rush of adrenaline for the Spartans on Garagash's apparently clean hit on Bandai. Muha and Migliozzi get the assist on Felsing's goal, which has probably salted this one away for the Spartans. All 9 goals in this game at even strength, 5-on-5 play. And the goal came less than a half minute after West A made it 5-3. So it's not often how many you score, but when you score them to try to head off the momentum.
And they're taking Nick Bandai off the ice.
Well, I think that makes a lot of sense.
You have to, I think. He has to sit out.
Got to give him a look.
Well,
you're a member of the medical staff.
Well, not just that. His helmet came off, and he came off the ice. It caused the whistle.
Oh, right. So just by game regulations, that's correct. Bovalina, backhand chance. Was blocked down by Garagash, then Garagash bumps him. And this puck is ripped into the Montour bench. It'll stay in the West A zone. And now we just worry about some cheap stuff happening after the whistles here. Now Garagash and Bovalina are jawing at each other. The Montour student section is definitely egging on the emotional reactions. And
timeout, Montour.
Montour's Clayton Shell will take a timeout.
He's going to try to get his players back underneath there.
That's a great timeout, in my opinion. For not just the course of the game, but the safety of the players.
Absolutely. At this point, you're starting to see the team that's up starting to take a little extra effort and want to just try to get them to calm down, because you don't want to give that momentum back to West Allegheny if you take a bad, cheap penalty here.
Just remind his guys that they came here tonight to win the hockey game, not take a pound of flesh necessarily.
One team has to go away, and here's the problem. You get one guy, especially somebody like Dusty Garagash, suspended for one game in the postseason.
That's such a difference maker.
Yeah, so you want to just get them calmed down and get the emotion done. They're going into the third period in the other game here, Quaker Valley and Meadville. Meadville leading 2-1 still.
Well, it's 6-3 Montour. And the crowd's still buzzing from the exchange of goals, and one of the hardest hits we've seen all season, that I've seen all season.
Yeah.
Dusty Garagash on Nick Bandai. Star on star, too. You don't often see that.
Yeah.
Arguably the two best players on the ice going head-to-head there. And Garagash won the physical confrontation. Neil Diamond is ringing out here at the RMU Island Sports Center. Thought I was at a pit game for a minute. Morton will keep this alive for West A. Girgo looked over his shoulder. He thought it might have been offside, but no, he can stay in on the forecheck. Nolan bumping Casperson of Montour, sending him flying. Punching above his weight class there was Nolan. Girgo couldn't stick handle it free, and Felsing breaks back for Montour. 5.5 left. Felsing, backside, wrist shot, saved by Ferry on the chance for Muha. Toss pass to Spartan, Casperson, but Sweet couldn't get by the linesman. Again, it comes into play where in a normal game there's probably a little more open ice over there with only 2 men in stripes on the ice. Bandai pokes it ahead. Good to see him back out there. His shoulder pad has come loose, though. He's a little worse for the wear right now. Felsing on his knees for checking and guided that one to the front of the net, but couldn't get a stick on it after he popped it loose. Garagash cross rink. Felsing leans down with his backhand deflection going all the way into the offensive zone. Neat little play there, actually, to keep the thing moving. Then Sweet gave it up. Gollum wanted to go backdoor on the right side to Migliozzi, but that didn't happen. Now Sweet taking it. Sweet on his backhand, has Bandai in the middle, but tried to stuff it. Save made by Reinhold. Shane Nolan bouncing it toward the middle. Good bounce in front. Sweet scores. It's not over yet. Nick Sweet, 6-4. West Allegheny gets another one.
Just a little carelessness in front. Nick Sweet able to take advantage of it. Just chip one on the backhand past Reinhold, who's had a pretty good game so far in his own right. But now it's a 2-goal game with about 4:14 remaining. 6-4 here. And West Allegheny's going to take some chances here, but looks like the Montour Spartans might give it to them.
A reminder that both teams have taken their one timeout in this game, so no chance to slow things down that way. It's all on the players to manage it. That's what I love about hockey, just one timeout aside. Forget that basketball nonsense. Anyway, that's my aside.
No comment.
I really hate all those timeouts and stoppages in basketball late in games.
Right now, Alan Saunders is sitting home watching this, telling me to keep my mouth shut.
Might be telling me to keep my mouth shut, too. Howcroft on the far wing will charge ahead. It is still a hockey game. And now I wonder about maybe an extra attacker for West Allegheny at some point soon. They are down 2. You can't wait too long. Sweet gets the goal off the carom in front. Nolan with the assist. Stroka checked Howcroft on this near side. We're screened out by the Montour student section. Morgan back in neutral ice. Flipped one over to the near side. Wilpala couldn't get it past Howcroft. So the Indians stay solvent. They stay alive. Garagash is down. I don't know what happened there.
He
Has
tripped
to pick
over
up his
somebody
stick.
else's stick. Wasn't an intentional.
Bandai check. Felsing. Soft play up the middle. Howcroft couldn't get a shot off, but now Bandai scoops it up for West A. Bandai, though, confronted by two Spartans, and they poke it away out to the red line. Bandai regathers. Might take some heroics from Mr. Bandai to make the comeback happen, or at least get another one. 2:54 left, and goaltender Ferry is still on the net down to our left. Kicked along by Bovalina. His goal got the comeback triggered here in the third. Centering pass to Girgo, but it's tipped away by Dusty Garagash. Has a hat trick in this game for Montour. Felsing has a pair for Montour, including the most recent goal that appeared to put it away, but it's not quite done yet. Girgo unable to kick that one along, but Garagash's pass intercepted by Sweet. Sweet to Girgo. The Indians meander in over the line. Now Sweet turning to the front. Cleared away by Garagash. Bandai couldn't make anything happen. No magic there for him. Felsing looking for the hat trick. Put it between his own legs. Backhand. He's knocked down. That'll be a penalty. A delayed call. Reinhold out of his net. Garagash handling in front of his own goal. Has to be careful there. 2 minutes to go in the third period. And a power play coming up for Montour. Garagash up ahead. Muha. He's got Gollum. And Garagash to Gollum. And went right through his skates. And touched by the Indians. That'll trigger the penalty call with 1:48 to go in the third.
It's an innocent play behind the net, and they ended up calling it. 148, it's going to be Montour for the remainder of this one if they don't get another one. And, you know, right now for West A, you're just going to have to go full send. Hope that you can get everything. They have 5 players out on the ice right now.
Well, yeah, not quite time for that. They're going to have to get their goalie off to get 5 skaters off the draw. Girgo won it cleanly. That's step 1, of course, but Bandai couldn't clear. Migliozzi trying to go top shelf, but again, Ferry is stout. Josh Ferry, despite giving up 6 goals, might be one of the stars of this game.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Montour gets its second power play of this period. Montour now up to 39 shots on goal. 6 have gone in. Obviously, it's a 6-4 game on Berg Hockey Live. Bandai, shorthanded, driving through. The Indians outnumbered the Spartans at the front of the net for a moment there. The Spartans are forgetting that they're trying to defend a lead in addition to being on the power play. Garagash has an open man. Freeman off the arm of Ferry. Garagash tried to swat it out of the air, but he couldn't. A backhand clearing attempt. Migliozzi went down to a knee to block it. 1:08 left in the third period and likely the game. Garagash pried off the puck. No, he still has it. Now he's knocked off the puck by Medved. Freeman belted down. Garagash's high shot gloved, and Garagash points out to the point. I don't know what he was saying there. Maybe he should have given it to Felsing. At any rate, now it's desperate time, if it hasn't already been desperate time for West A. If they get any kind of puck possession, I'm thinking that Ferry's going to sprint to the bench. Again, 55.8 on the third period clock. This time Montour wins the draw. Just take a couple more solid passes for the Spartans to run out the clock. Felsing will handle. Cross rink. Garagash for the 4th. Off the pipe. Nearly the capper, and it would have been in style on the power play. Nolan ran himself into the ditch. Garagash in front. Muha couldn't jam it by Ferry. Ferry remains strong late. Felsing with a half minute to go in this AA play-in game. Guided it deep. Migliozzi on his backhand. 2 Spartans in the slot. Felsing takes it here. Felsing, shot it was blocked by Nolan. Now Nolan's going to go ahead, and it's a shorthanded breakaway for Girgo. No, he can't handle it. Fed it to Bandai, offside. West Allegheny, and well, that's going to be symbolic of the night for the Indians. Could have been a 2-on-0 shorthanded, really, because Bandai had a head of steam. But Girgo just could not push it ahead enough to prevent going on offside on himself, essentially. So Montour will preserve the lead. Montour trailed 2-1 in this game. 4.5 minutes in. It is 2-1 Meadville in the other play-in game in Double
They're
A.
getting ready to start the third period,
All
yeah.
right, so still a ways to go there. Meadville and Quaker Valley squaring off. That'll set the 8-team field when that game's over with. Bandai couldn't handle the pass here. 4 seconds left in the play-in game. Bandai settles in behind his net, and time runs out. Spartans win. Spartans win 6-4, and Montour advances to the quarterfinal round. The offensive punch provided by Garagash and Felsing and company. Too much to handle for the Indians, and the Spartans celebrate with a robust student section to our right. Incredible atmosphere for this opening game of the Penguins Cup playoffs, really. Two teams prepare to shake hands at center ice, with the referees and linesmen providing watchful eyes. Brian, the energy was up right from the start. We had 3 goals in the opening 4.5 minutes. It settled in a bit from there, but this game was on a high wire the whole time. And what an example of high-stakes high school hockey that we saw this evening.
This is indicative of what the Montour Spartans do. They just get a lot of luck and a lot of skill, and they put it together and hope that it all pays off. And today, the bounces, the opportunities, everything they created, the game plan was absolutely perfect because, like I said, I noted a couple times, West Allegheny a little bit slow to get back on the back check, so they just went full send with some of their faster players and just ended up paying off, and now they get to live to fight another day tomorrow against the Mars Planets up at Barrel. So, you get the opportunity there, and it's just a great opportunity for Montour. And hats off to West A. They've had a phenomenal season this year. It's just been, it's just a bad stretch towards the end of the season. They got the big win over Baldwin, but it wasn't going to be enough.
Exactly, to your point, West A finishes with back-to-back losses, and in those losses they allow a combined 11 goals after giving up less than 3 per game through the first 17 games of the season. They capped it with that win over Baldwin, as you mentioned, but a 5-1 loss to Franklin Regional in the final game of the regular season 2 weeks ago. They had to wait. Montour won against Penn Trafford to earn a spot in this game, and then West A, despite scoring 2 of the first 3 tonight, just couldn't maintain, and too scattered and not enough support for their goaltender Josh Ferry, who ends up stopping 35 out of 41 this evening. But the winner in net is Anthony Reinhold, the sophomore, for the in one way, defending champ, Montour Spartans. They won Class A last year. They're going to try to do it again in Class AA. They'll have a chance. Dusty Garagash gets a hat trick. Michael Felsing with 2 goals in the game, including the one to ice it away with about 6:10 left in the third period. And what can you say besides the big boys came to play for Montour? A powerful attack all year, and the power play didn't really even come into play. The last power play they got was essentially a run-out-the-clock type of a thing. So they really had one chance with the game in the balance, and even that one came late. So even strength stuff. Natural hat trick for Garagash. That turned it permanently in Montour's favor. That's their 14th win of the season, and they'll play Mars, and as we said. And they're going to give, they're going to have a disadvantage in terms of legs, Mitch, but in momentum, probably not.
I'll tell you what, I want to just say this before we sign off of this contest, and this is towards West Allegheny. Heck of a season. They had a lot of problems, I believe, internally this year. They were able to overcome and just put on an effort this season that was for the ages, moving up from single A to double A, cemented their place in double A, and at this point, you can't just say anything but good stuff about the Indians and how they just were able to overcome the adversity that they had, especially at the early part of this season. I won't touch on it, but there was a lot going on for them, and congratulations to this team for the season that they did. This graduating class that I've been able to follow for the last 3 years has been phenomenal. So with that being said, Matt Gajtka, would you like to take us out on this one?
I would. I do want to mention Jake Giergo was the offensive standout for West A. The senior goes out on a high note, at least individually, with a goal and an assist. Nick Sweet, Clay Bovalina, and Jake Scholes, also goal scorers tonight for the Indians. Boykin and Medved and Nolan had assists as well. On the Montour side, I mentioned the hat trick for Garagash from the blue line, 2 for Felsing. Also a goal and an assist for Sal D. Philippe, the senior. His career will continue on. Anthony Migliozzi, the junior, 2 assists in this game. Muha, an assist. Gollum, an assist there. And that's it in terms of the score sheet. So we will see Montour play Mars tomorrow. That's it for Berg Hockey Live in the, well, no, you have it tomorrow.
I have it tomorrow and
Yeah.
you on Thursday, on Tuesday, sir.
I should say that's it for us together for Berg
Yeah,
Hockey
this is
Live.
us as a pairing this year. It's been an honor to be able to share the booth with you once again. It's good to see that this is moving on like we would like it to see, and I appreciate every moment you being able to cover this, and hopefully we move on in the future
Would
with
love
all
to.
this. So we'll see how this, how everything falls out. We thank everybody for watching out there and enjoying every contest that we've tried to place out there for you, whether or not we've had issues with our technology or small problems here, small problems there. We've tried to make it through and just give you whatever you guys wanted to see, which was high school hockey, and that is it. So, all right, Matt Gajtka, take us out of here.
Well, we saw high school hockey to the nth degree tonight. Montour 6, West Allegheny 4 in one of 2 Class AA play-in games. Tonight, for Brian Mitchell, for Dave Fryer with the PIHL, and for all of you out there watching, this is Matt Gajtka saying good Sunday night from the RMU Island Sports Center, and keep it here on BergHockey.com and our YouTube channel for more coverage of the PIHL postseason as it continues tomorrow and into Tuesday. Good night.